high school has always had, there's an organization, whatever, that controls the sports in the high schools. They have like tennis. Our school never had tennis. They brought soccer into our school after I left. I would love to have played soccer, not football, not baseball at that level, but soccer I would have had a good time with. Esports are now recognized by Ohio high schools for official varsity letter jackets and tournaments. And
Songs of Steel.
absolute, the reason they did this is because there are already 200 high schools in Ohio that are part of the Ohio Esports League competing in national tournaments and champions. And colleges are visiting the schools to see the players, to offer them full scholarships to come to their college and play on their, their varsity esports teams for letters, for full scholarships. So the parents and folks that argued that against me, we just talked about not going to college. Now we're talking about getting a full ride because you're playing video games. I mean, this is the crazy ass world, let me tell you. But every parent that argued with me about our kids play baseball and football because they might get a scholarship and it teaches them teamwork. Well, guess what? That wasn't diversity and inclusion, because there are too many kids that could not do that. Now it's opened up. Everybody can do that. They can do this. Okay, arguably, there are some people, muscular dystrophy and some Parkinson's. Someone may have a partial arm amputated. I get that. But I will give Microsoft kudos for this. They have an accessibility controller that's modular, that you put the pieces together to fit your disabilities and what works for you so you can play games. And now you don't have to be, this is horrible. You don't have to be in shape. You don't have to be the fastest runner. You don't have to be the big, strong kid. And I think every kid should be in shape. I think the kids are not in good shape. That's a whole nother topic we could go on one day. But the point is, the point is, you don't have to be the big jock at football, basketball, baseball, skiing, whatever. Now the kids playing video games can be just as big a deals. And that to me is huge, I think. So here we go. Yeah. Everything about my talk. You won't believe in the last week, the scrambling I've started to do to up this talk, to get the word out, get in front of more people. I'm working on my book, which I've been toying with, all that. This is a big, huge change, adding esports as officially recognized sports programs in our high schools.
I had heard about the first one. I hadn't heard about the second one. What someone had mentioned was that esports are getting more and more, there's money in it, and so the world is heading towards it and so forth. And one of the things that I volunteered was, I thought that same way too. So I invested in a company called Skills that specializes in setting up those tournaments and so forth. And they're one of my worst investments.
Really?
That is that one of that field might have growth going on, and maybe these guys haven't captured how to do that well. But it does seem to be that there's going to be one or two or three iterations of how do we really do this? Is it going to be on the basis of geographic locality? Because so much of what sports is, hey, go Cleveland, go St. Louis, go, and esports, it almost by definition, it's virtual. It doesn't have to be. Is it going to be on the basis of what your spirit animal is, what your ethnicity is, what your hair color is? How are they going to choose those various different things? And it could be that there's going to be teams that are going to be like, I don't know, that broke down when you started to import players. Manchester United is not only the people that lived in Manchester. Nowadays, they go and get the best from Argentina and Germany and wherever else and hire them up. But having said that, I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. That it's going to be, is it the name of the animal? And animals have different connotation instead of denotation. So you want to have an animal that's or powerful or aggressive or intelligent, and that's how we're going to choose teams and that kind of stuff. Or we'll see how
it's going to be Gungan robots, not it's going. And what you just said, really think about it. You could, maybe this is projecting a little too hopeful rose-colored glasses vision. in the local high school, the diversity and inclusion, which I mentioned, now these kids, every kid can be in a sport and recognize varsity letter and a chance for a scholarship. But they're not just competing against the local bigwigs in your area. We're competing against China. We're competing against Mexico. And the world is becoming smaller because our high school is against Canada, China, Mexico, India, and we're competing against kids from all over the world. And suddenly the world's not so big a place. It's not so scary. And Gene Roddenberry's vision is one step closer because of this. And I'll stand that ground all day.
I like a lot of that. I agree. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. It's funny, I never am on Twitch or any other of the services where you can watch somebody play a video.
Right.
Somehow that doesn't do it for me. I love watching the Olympics. I like watching some football. There's an approachability, or like I can put myself into their situation and say, wow, if I was just a little bit faster, jump higher, you know what I mean, throw a javelin better, I could be out there doing that. I don't get that same ability to put myself in the place, even for a first person shooter where it is perspective of you doing it. Somehow I don't find myself getting as involved in that. I admire the craft of someone who's really good at it, where it's like, wow, they just cleared that room of zombies faster than I could ever have. How did they learn to do that? But I'm not sure. Maybe if I watch more or watch the right ones, I'll get a better feel for, now I can appreciate that, and I want to see the best of the world at it. I want to be in that audience. You know what I mean? So
That's a large part because it's new and because you're 60 something. Just think if you were the same age now, but back in like 1890 and going to watch a baseball game. Yeah, this is a joke. It's a fun afternoon. It's not a big deal. These guys don't make much money. They're still farmers and blah, blah, blah. Fast forward 100 years and people are making millions of dollars playing baseball. So things changed. It's the beginning that same way. The first football players weren't getting scholarships because the colleges didn't necessarily have them.